what have you been up to in Mushroom Game?
Um, in general, like, I think I really enjoy bossing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's like my main focus. Like where I get the most fulfillment out of.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I was able to join, I think, a permanent Lucid party, normal Lucid.
You think?
Yeah, it's. I mean, we ran like yesterday, and they said same time next week. Not sure if somebody's gonna drop out or something.
Yeah, parties will change. If there's any constant, is that even if you don't really want them to, eventually parties do change.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully we're running. I mean, I ran for like the past 2 weeks. The first it was just like a fill. But yeah, hopefully this is like a permanent party.
Mm-hmm. So that's normal Lucid, and how was that run?
Pretty good. I think I was doing a fair bit of damage, so like I was carrying my own weight.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't. The mechanics, it was just like phase one that was hard, but that's kind of like I feel like RNG with the way the dragon spawns.
Yeah, a little bit of that, yeah, and yeah, you're kind of limited to how quickly you can kill the golems as a team, right?
Yeah, that was like the most part, the biggest issue.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think phase two was pretty easy, went pretty smoothly.
Okay. No one dying out, no crazy situations.
Nah, nah, it went pretty smooth.
Okay.
But yeah, aside from that, I could also solo Lotus and Damien,
Mm-hmm.
so that isn't an issue. I think like in general, I have like a lot of knowledge about all of the game systems and like the upgrade mechanics and how the game works.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure how much like I need help with like all the other stuff like familiars or legion or like talking about like IED or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mostly figuring out what like long-term goals should I or can I actually go for.
Mm-hmm. Which ones are like realistic for your situation, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started, I was struggling to clear CRA, and I'm actually one of the people who found you through YouTube through the progression session.
Mm-hmm.
And like I learned about like IED and like I was trying to use Pencilier to clear CRA.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about Flame Advantage gear and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So like in the beginning when I first started back like again in December, I didn't like I never even saw myself getting to like Lotus and Damien or even like Lucid.
Seems so far away, right? In the beginning.
Yeah, it seemed like impossible for me. But now that I'm able to do normal Lucid, I'm kind of wondering like what's next and how achievable is it.
Yeah, next like, jumps are pretty big once you get to once normal Lucid is in the pocket. Like next thing is like normal Will, but then you need the levels, of course.
Yeah.
And then after that is pretty much like either hard Damien or hard Lucid or like the next step, which is of course, almost like order of magnitude.
Yeah.
Quite a big size up.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, it's really the phase 3, right? So that kind of comes down to the team composition, comes down to your battle analyses, right? So you can kind of see if you have a fighting chance with the team that you have or not, or if people need to push. And then when there are events and big Starforcing events and people make gains, then the run gets smoother and smoother, faster and faster. But until that point, there's a curve to get up to that point for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I figured. And that's like what I'm kind of worried about is like so far it's kind of been somewhat easy to upgrade stuff. Like everything is like it does cost meso, but it's not like too much. But I know once you get like past 15 stars, like trying to go for like 18 or 19 stars can get kind of expensive. And I'm wondering like how I should go about it.
How much do you make like in a week, let's say?
I think I make about like 3 to 4 bill at least. I have like 4 characters that could clear up to CRA, so like 4 bossing mules. and then that's like including Maple Tor, Urza's.
Okay. Yeah, just have an idea of, that we don't set up a plan that's going to take you like 18 years to to complete. That wouldn't be very helpful for you. Something that's short-term, mid-term, long-term viable. Okay. And do you have like a final goal in mind, or do you just want to see, where time takes you?
Yeah, mostly like the second part, where it takes me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really have like a specific boss in mind. Maybe like gear wise, like I do want to get like arcane weapon, and I don't know. Like I think full arcane, like 5-set arcane. I mean, seems kind of out of the realm of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely arcane weapon.
Yeah, it could seem like that, but we do have a lot of droplets on the way. Okay, and like, what's your play? What, like, right now you play a lot, but is that possible that changes drastically? That you won't be able to play nearly as much anymore, or?
Maybe like over summer, probably I won't be playing as much.
Okay, because they're kind of like the opposite. You work in like something seasonal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that could be a thing. Yeah, because we do have Neo coming out, right, June 9th, so that's going to be huge. Well, the reason that I mentioned the arcane stuff, right, is because of the droplets in the shop now, and then the droplets in Neo shop, or shops, I should say. And then, of course, also droplets that you get while training. All of that thrown together with the GMS changes of the droplets being unified as a resource will actually make arcane seem way more achievable. But of course, that'll just be like half of it, like half of how many droplets you need, because if you're going for 5-set, the weapon kind of counts for 2, right? Then you have 4 more items, so you need like the equivalent of 6 total items basically. So you'll have roughly enough for 3 from the shops, but then you still need the other 3, and without having all of it, it's not really worth switching over or anything. Yeah. So it will definitely depend on how lucky you get with droplets, and if you get a weapon drop. So we'll definitely try to make it so that you can be strong enough for Hard Lucid and Hard Will with your current setup, not relying on the arcane stuff yet. And then maybe once you get one drop or something, that you can start thinking about combining everything together and seeing if you can make the puzzle fit. But weapon drop will obviously be the most useful, most valuable, because basically the value of 2 items if you don't have the item yet. Unluckily for hero, you can also get like 2-handed swords and stuff to drop, which is not always ideal. Not always ideal. But the total combination, and it can drop from both the bosses, right? So I mean, one of the main goals would definitely be to at least reach level 250, to be able to hit hard will with full damage, because of the you know how it works, right, with the damage penalty for level difference.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a main goal there. And then arcane power wise for Will, you want to have 1140. So that's also still some stuff to work on there. But I assume that you picked up your compensation symbols, right? That's why you're at 12. Yeah. Did you pick up all the other compensations so far, or is there still anything there that you're waiting on?
I think just the level of potions that I haven't picked up yet.
Okay. Don't get like a 1-week ban and then not be able to pick them up. Okay. I'm like holding my breath for people who are like, I'll pick them up on the last day, and then they do some dumb shit and they get banned on like a 1-day ban on the last day, and then they just don't get it. It's like, well, if only you picked it up 1 day earlier. But yeah. Okay. I don't see any like glaring missings or oversight. I mean, I'm assuming that you're just getting pretty unlucky with Gollux.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I started running it recently, like maybe 10-15 days ago.
And Helix is fine solo?
Yeah, Helix.
Yep.
Solo. I haven't gotten any superior drops. I could have started Helix sooner, but I was running like normal Gollux, try to get like a solid ring. But like, I don't know, like after a week I was like, this is not worth it. I might as well just do Helix.
Yeah, it's actually just more efficient to use the coins to buy the rings than to try to do normal for the ring. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's also like I have a specific question about that.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now I have I'm sorry I didn't include the screenshot, but I have a 368 Galax coins,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering whether it was worth like buying a solid ring to get to like 15 stars and make this upcoming 30% event, 30% off Starforce. And like is that worth? Because like right now I have like no damage rings. Maybe the common ring could be
Mm-hmm.
like a damage ring, but like everything else is like a muscle drop. Um, like it has muscle drop in the potential.
Oh, it's pretty similar to the session from yesterday, right? I think the guy was 238 and was kind of in the same position where he had no real damage accessories. Everything was kind of just like mezzo and drop for now.
So,
Yeah, coincidence, I guess. Yeah, that will kind of depend on backups and how much you actually need the damage. Like, do you feel like there's a lot of room that you need to fill when it comes to killing monsters or bosses near your level? Is there like a lot of growth potential still there? Like, are you struggling with certain bosses where you really need the damage, or is mobbing, really close to one-shotting or really close to two-shotting, but you're just a little bit off, something like that?
nah, like in general, I'm like really like I don't need anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, I would
So
always wait until events, and I kind of like let the events decide what the next upgrade is that you work on. And it doesn't mean that you have to upgrade every single type of equip during an event, but it does kind of mean that you want to spend most of your money during the event. But then what you end up spending on, it could be maybe more efficient. I don't know, depending on we'll get to the details. Could maybe be more efficient to try to go for like 19 CRA versus trying to work on a 17 Sarkana treasuring, for example, if it's not gonna be with you for too long anyway because of the situation. But again, that'll like, depend on backups and all that stuff. But we'll take that into consideration, like the progression with the accessories. Do you have because I assume that right now you have crit from the Tobin, right? Do you have a plan for like to get your crit up to 100% when that's gone?
yeah, I think I just switched that out with like I'm not using I think I'm not using the Phantom Link.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after the event runs out, I use the Phantom.
Wait, sorry, what was that last thing?
After the event runs out, I use the Phantom Link.
Oh yeah, okay, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I had 100% crit before.
Right, okay.
Or like 90% crit, and then Sharp Eyes.
Yeah, exactly, okay. Yeah, because crit on hero is not the most obvious thing, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say you calculate your functional IED and everything, so that's taken into consideration the current the current event buffs as well, and then after I think I saw, right?
Yep.
I think wait, did I scroll past it? Oh no, it was woohoo. Oh here. So I stick to 93.84, and that's without Legion Grid. So that's without Golux still, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge, pain in the ass, but also like that's gonna be the thing stopping you from going too hard on all of that stuff. But if you're without that, like functionally at 94, then you're fine. You're in a great spot. Yeah, because the ID and the crit rate, as long as you have that figured out, then we can really get into the more detail-oriented stuff, because that's the main stuff. As long as you don't have any questions regarding like the matrix or anything, that's all obvious.
Nah, I think I think I'm pretty good with that.
Mm-hmm. Senior, you're eventually gonna go for 4 boost nodes and then switch them around a little bit.
Yeah. I actually have like another like perfect node for like the second, for like the shout, puncture, and rush.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I have 57, but that's using 3 of the like the Raging Blow, Final Attack.
Oh, okay. So you're literally like 3 of the first try node and 2 of the second. Yeah, I don't know if people even actively use that second one. I have it on the list, but I don't know if many people actually use that one. I think it opens up some options though, right? To make your shout stronger, have your puncture actually be able to kill things.
Yeah, well, it helped when I was training.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't go too hard on leveling up the... Did you stop leveling one of those first 3 nodes?
I think I'm only leveling up 2 of them.
Yeah, because is it like 14, 12, and 15, I think? I don't know, this picture is a little bit lower resolution for some reason. Or 13
it's,
maybe.
Yeah, 14, 13, 15.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, because if you go too high, you'll lose a lot of value there, right, for the extraction. So you don't want to go too high. And at this point, you're at like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, you're close to 60 now, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so now's a good time to start more focusing on the other 2. Yeah, and then Burning Soulblade, of course, very nice. And I guess decent Holy Symbol. It's always a nice one to get some levels in.
Yeah.
Have you started to save Blink?
I haven't gotten any since the announced change.
Okay, but you know about it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have anything else with like Sword Illusion is so good. It's so much damage.
Yeah.
It's kind of busted.
This character I started with during Awake, like the Terror Burning, and I had like the EXP nodes. And at the time, I didn't see myself getting to like 235 or anything, so I just threw it on the Burning Soul Blade.
Yep. Yeah, that uptime is really... I mean, if you get it early on, that makes the mobbing way more reliable, way more fluid.
Yeah.
Do you ever, when you're training, do you put it down in one part of the map and then kind of like dance around the other part while staying close enough? Or do you just have it as a summon typically?
At the first part.
Kind of depends on what map you're in, I guess.
Yeah.
But are you in CLP most of the time? I guess there it's pretty good, right?
No, I was training. I found I was getting better rates in LP1.
LP1, yeah.
LP2.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
I put like my Burning Soul Blade like in the top middle, and I danced like the left and right.
Okay. Yeah, I thought like up to 240 or something, Hero was absolutely fine. I mean, you have to get the 5th job first, of course, but then once you have 5th job, I found the leveling actually really good on Hero. But of course, my Hero was a bit overgeared at that point, but as soon as you get to Arcana, if you can kill those monsters pretty quickly. I mean, and now, how did it change the way that, was it in Awake that they changed how, God, now I'm blanking on the like single fire skill.
Yeah, for the Raging Blow?
Right.
It does 1/3?
Yeah, that it changed. Like, do you actually use it in that mode now, or no?
For mobbing, no, really.
No, okay. Because you only hit 3, right? Or 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 3.
Yeah, that's not great.
But yeah, for the most part, I just rotate between Burning Soul Blade, the Hyper.
Yeah, Cry Valhalla.
Hyper skill. Yeah. And Instinctual combo.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's enough. Yeah, and then maybe some punctures and some rising rages and some shouts when you're in an instinctual combo, because the hitbox isn't.
Yeah.
Horizontally, the hitbox is fine, but vertically, it's a little bit scuffed, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, did you use that up jump a lot?
Yeah.
Because I got it when I wasn't really actively playing the character anymore, so now it's like really... It's so awkward, though, the up with basic attack, because basic attack is always at a really weird key for me, and now you have to like use it again.
Yeah, I mean, I put mine's like on delete. I tried doing like up and basic attack, but sometimes, like when I was doing Lotus, sometimes like I guess I would input it correctly, and I would like not jump up, and I would die.
Yeah, it would just be like hitting the air with a basic attack instead of doing it.
Yeah.
Be like, bro, I need you to listen right now, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So once that happened too many times, I would just put it in the key, and I put it on delete.
Wait, so just the up jump? You can do that? Or does it have to be the... Oh, okay.
It's like an actual skill in the 3rd job.
And if you use it when you're in the air with the down key, then it does the down slash or what?
The
little.
No, I don't think you could do the down.
Oh, okay. That has to be with the basic attack then, I guess.
Yeah.
Weapon aura one-shotting is really nice when grinding. Yeah, I guess with heroes, range a little bit more limited and the mobility a little bit more limited, weapon aura actually does a bit more good than bad. A lot of warrior classes, when you weapon aura, you actually end up like kind of chaosing yourself. But I've seen some videos where heroes use it and then they just like face one way and then shoot out the weapon aura, kill everything that way and then jump the other way instead. Kind of the lack of summons and the lack of mobility can be supplemented by weapon aura, I think.
Oh, yeah, for training. I didn't like include my my page for like, but yeah, like I use weapon aura. I use like the will skill. I was even trying out Urda Nova.
You mean Urda Shower?
Yeah, Urda Shower.
Yeah, Urda Nova for training. That's some last ditch effort right there. When all else fails, try Urda Nova. I mean, that one monster is definitely not going to bother you anymore. Every 6 minutes, one just gets utterly destroyed.
It's for those elite bosses.
Yeah, it's annoying elite bosses. By the time you can hit them, the bind is gone again already. They're just untargetable, or like they take 1 damage for the first 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Yeah. But yeah, if everything with the Matrix is all completely fine, then we can move on from that. Do you have any questions with Legion and links with the order or which things to take or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I think for the most part it's just getting some of the links to level 3. But I mean, that's something like I've just been struggling. Like I don't mind training to like 200, but 200 and 210 is like, I don't know. So
you get a huge bump now, right? With the 4/5 job skills, that does help a lot. What I found is that if you at 200, you can usually use the 5th job skills to very easily like clear Fez 2, and it's decently quick, even if you don't have the arcane power, and maybe killing a vanishing journey is a little bit too much because your character maybe isn't geared that much at that level. You can very easily get to 205, and then at 205 you can just do the reverse city quest instead. And those monsters there have very low requirements as well. You can just go to the first map. You don't even have to do the whole pre-quest. You can just do the first map. It's a pretty good layout for almost all the classes that I trained there. Yeah, and just the power creep of having access to 5th job skills was enough to pretty much carry all of them through there.
Okay.
And then you can, hit 210 and never play them ever again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like one of the things that was like stopping me is like right now we have like the bonking event coming up soon. So I thought like it was like more value getting 141 to like 200 or whatever.
Yeah, what's your idea? What's your plan with bonking, and then with the Terror Burns and Neo after that? If you have that in mind as well, what were your goals there?
I'm not sure. Like I know about how strong 8K Legion is, but I don't even know if if I want to actually like actively go for it. Like I'm gonna take advantage of the bonking event, of course. But I guess I'll see like how far it takes me.
Right.
Because right now I have 13 level 200 characters. So it's like what, 27 more characters for 8K Legion. Or yeah.
Yep. Well, a little bit less probably. If you have a few characters higher, then you don't have to go as high, but yeah, close to it, yeah.
Yeah. And for the Terror Burning, I'm not sure. Like I don't know if you could tell by my Legion board, but like I really enjoy playing warriors.
You got them grouped together.
Like I have a Dark Knight, I have the hero. I'm working on a Dell a little bit side. I'm thinking like maybe one of the Terror Burns I might end up just making a pally. Have like all of the warriors.
Yep.
But in general, like I don't really have an issue with any of the characters.
Okay.
Like I know some people like struggle with mechanics, some people struggle with like Mercedes, but I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Wasn't too bad.
Good. All right. Yeah. Well, as long as you, whatever you decide to do, as long as you think, like, keep in mind that the Terraburns in Neo are coming and what that means in terms of who you bonk on, right? Like if you say, oh, I probably want to would probably make a pally, then obviously don't start bonking like a warrior, because then it's all kind of wasted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're going purely for levels and you want to see how much you can gain out of the bonk event, I think we did some math yesterday. I think if you max bonk, I think it's like 92 bonks or something.
Yeah, I've heard. I think it was.
Yeah, which I think if you get an average of like 4 levels per bonk, if you start at 140 characters, that means it's like almost 400 levels just from that. But of course, you're probably going to be training a little bit as well to get all the coins to be able to bonk. So if you add all of that together, I wouldn't be surprised if you add that together that you wouldn't end up with like almost 7k after that. If you really go super hard at it, right? Really do every single bonk and stuff.
Yeah. Do we know how much it costs to bonk?
100
per
coins.
Oh, really?
Yep. So even at when you can do 3 per day, then it's still, if you just cap on a character, that's enough to do all 3 of the bonks.
Yeah.
On one character if you want, yeah. And Sundays is all doubled.
Yeah.
So yeah, as long as you as long as you cap on the characters you want to bonk on Sundays, then you're good for quite a few days.
Yep.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, so 7ish, and then say that you do the 2 Terraburns on characters that you don't have yet or that are not really in your Legion counted right now. I could see you like after the summer looking at like 7.2 or something. And then of course the fact that you have the Legion and the Lynx will make every other character so much stronger, right? You'll definitely want to throw some money at, do a little bit of funding, do a little bit of Starforcing, get a few equips here and there, maybe some boss accessory equips. But yeah, just one after the other, getting to 200. I found it kind of enjoyable because I like the doing something else every now and then. I don't know. You like the warriors. I don't know if you... well, you said you didn't really hate anything, so... sometimes it's just fun to do a little bit of something else. And then slowly but surely working on that 8k Legion. The main thing is just once you hit 6k, it's really good. You have decent coverage already of the map because of how many 200s you have. But the thing is, when you reach 6k, there's only so many characters you can put in, and there's still so much space that you could be, filling. So,
yeah,
I think 8k is worth it because of that.
I actually didn't update my Legion. I did hit 6k,
and
there's like a lot of empty slots.
Yeah, it's a whole. Well, the whole right side is more empty now, I assume, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's normal.
7 in boss.
Yeah, it's basically just the whole left side full, and then a line to try to get to the right side for like 1 or 2 pieces there. Yeah, that's kind of what 6k is. Feels a little bit. It's a little bittersweet because you hit that 6k, you have that full grid, but then it's like, wow, there's so much empty space. Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, probably like after the bonking event, if I'm like 7k, 7.2k, I'll probably end up just going for 8k.
Yeah, with that in mind, then I think it's probably a good idea to maybe overbonk a little on the characters that would be level 3 links, right? Try to get those set up to make sure that they can buff your whole account even more so. It's like the Aero Mercedes Evan, like those guys. Do you have a 0?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. Because that experience is OP. And Beast Tamer?
Yep.
Okay.
Level 2.
All right. I mean, yeah, as long as you have all those options there, then you can make those decisions yourself. If you're just going pure for levels, then I would always just bonk on the lowest level characters. But yeah, if there's nothing that you really dislike, then that'll just give you the most nominal gains, I guess.
Okay.
Yep. When it comes to links, do you have any questions with any of that?
Not really. I mean, like, the only thing that I would say I would like end up switching out would be like the crit rate links, right? Like, but I need to get crit rate on my inner ability. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
or find an archer to party with always to get real sharp eyes.
True.
That could also work. There are not too many archers out there, but if you can find one that can ease it up as well, and it frees up a slot in your matrix on top of it, so
Yeah.
it's quite nice.
Okay.
Especially since we have quite a few bursty skills that we could just keep throwing on as heroes, so yeah, more slots available, just more deep, more burst. And that looks good.
Yeah, other than that, I think just the crit rate I end up switching to later if I ever get crit in my inner ability. Other than that, I think I'm with my skills.
Wait, are you using the archer one over the beast saber one?
What is it?
Oh, the beast saber is probably not 210 yet, so you need the crit.
Yeah, it's not. It's level 2.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, once it gives a crit and the damage and the boss damage, that's pretty nice, of course. Get the 7/7, go from the 7/7 to the to the 10/10. Yeah, so it was a good bump, and the IED that always helps everyone a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Wait, I thought you were gonna say something earlier, but maybe I interrupted you. But
oh no.
Okay, you're good.
I think I can answer your question.
All right. Any questions about familiars and stuff?
Not really. I mean, I have the 215% IED. I have one that heals HP for Lucid. Then I have the item drop rate and also drop rate. I think I shouldn't worry about them too much aside from that.
No.
Until I get to like 245.
Yeah, if you can get like an item drop rate without a suffix or without a prefix, that would be probably the best upgrade that you can do, right? Is like increase item drop rate, and then just that line would be pretty nice, but other than that there's not much to look out for now.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to go for like large drop rate or maybe like without the suffix, but I got an epic one that's small amount. I was pretty sad.
Unlucky. It's like, yes, epic. Oh, the common line. Beautiful. Yeah, well, RNG giveth and taketh away, I guess. Okay. Alright, I feel pretty confident that you have all of the necessary, like, the baseline stuff. And with upgrading and everything, you feel that you know, like, for flaming and for the balance between the upgrade systems. Is that something that could use some explaining?
What do you mean?
Like where the lines are, where you want to focus more on one of the versions of upgrading versus another one, something like that.
Yeah, in general, I think I just follow your progression chart. Like I try to aim for like those type of flames, and then right now I'm just sitting on 15 stars. And then I think most of my stuff is like already unique and legendary.
I can tell by the order as well. You've listened to some things I've said before. You see the CRA is still at unique, and I see some lines on the gloves, so that stayed unique for now.
Dude, oh my god, I was trying to tear up that glove.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Trying to get it to legendary.
That's probably a black cube roll, right, with the double prime.
Yeah. That was, oh man. Now I feel really bad trying to like roll out of it.
Yeah, there goes all that range. All that stat out the window.
But yeah, like for the most part, I was trying to go for like 2 lines at least. Except the accessories. The accessories are mostly like item drop or metal in a line. But I know like Starforce is supposed to be like it's more important, or like it helps you get stronger.
For sure.
But I was just like waiting for the 5, 10, 15.
Yeah. So that's like the short term, right? Is just waiting for 17. So you have the money to be able to 17 everything, or by that time you will? Probably, right?
Yeah, I should. I didn't include it. I have about 26 bill. 26, 27 bill.
Should be fine then. Okay, I guess we can kind of go like one equip at a time and see kind of where that goes, right?
Okay.
So WSE is a good place, as good a place as any to start. Let's see, your weapon was here. So I'm bumping up to 17. Oh yeah, that has some crit for now, which is probably fine. You'll hold on to that. As long as it has a line of boss and a line of attack with it, then that's perfectly fine for now. Secondary... Oh, I already saw your secondary. It was 21 attack and 9 damage, right?
Yep.
And then the emblem had 2 useful lines? Oh yeah, line all stat, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't need ID, so there's not too much to mess around with those on. Okay, yeah, there's of course the fact of the Starforcing of the secondary, of course. Not too many characters have to worry about that. But you do a little bit. Do you have a decent amount of backups for this at this point?
I have a bunch of recipes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I mine like all the crystal hearts that I see.
Right. Is it something that you would want to have? Because there's major ways of going for, like, if you want to push something past 17, right? It's like, do you go 1 star on everything and then, excuse me, kind of go like that and try to get more efficiency out of your money? Or do you want to have an item that's just finished so you can move on to another one, right? Because with the shield, for example, like, you can be completely done at 20, which is the lowest amount of stars that probably any of your equips will really be done at. But then you can cross that one off the list, and it's fun to look at. Let me say that. If it's 20, it just looks nice in your inventory.
I think I'll probably go for like efficiency.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a personal thing, of course. Yeah, it'll probably be between that, and I assume that you have a bunch of CRA backups.
Yep.
Yeah. Because with everything 17, you probably will still have a bunch of money left, right?
Yeah.
At least I assume.
If I'm not unlucky.
Yeah, but you're already at 26, and you're looking at that's 4 more weeks, and you said you made like 4 bill a week.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you'd be over 40. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. If you even round that up, that should be like 4. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's like 500, 3.5. So you're looking at like 7.5 to 8 bill or something just from the Starforcing. There are some rumors floating around for a cube sale, though. Which would be interesting. I mean, that'd mainly be the green light to finally go hard on your gloves, though.
Yeah.
Get some gains on that. Oh, that is 68.6 transpose on the pendant?
Yep.
Yep, and it's 30% already. Oh, that's really nice. Okay. Alright. What is your, so pendant-wise, do you have any drop rate on, have like backup pendants for drop rate, or is this your only pendant setup right now?
I do have another Dom pendant, but it's still like rare.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And for Golix, the only thing you have is the 358, what was it, coins?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and no drops, okay. Yeah, so that's still very far away. Since that's so far away, that's a lot of money that would go towards that you're not really able to spend at all at this point. So you could see that as a green light to just go harder on everything else. You know, on the things that you're not going to replace by it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably get the earrings to 17 because you'll keep those for quite a while. I don't think there's anything... You're planning on just getting everything to 17 yet, right?
Yeah, that was like the only goal, and I was wondering what, like what the next step is.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking... Once all that is 17, because your flames are also... They're not like, godlike, but they're like pretty good. Some of them are really good. So that's in a good position. So and you're keeping an eye on the progression, right? So you know when to go harder and when to move on to the next item.
Yep.
I think it'll mainly be because your potentials are pretty good. I mean, yeah, you have the shoulder and the glove, right? You definitely want to get crit damage on the gloves. That's going to be big. And I probably get the shoulder and cape are just 2 lines on unique, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 17, 17, yeah. So you do eventually want to get those to legendary. That'll at least be 6% gain on each, so that's 12% strength there. But yeah, accessories is probably the main thing. So how are you with the Sweetwater Iron Face? Have you worked on that?
I have well, I don't have them, but I do have 366 Denaro, which is like good for 1. I do also have I do have a black bean mark, and I have that legendary, 2 lines of strength.
Okay.
Pretty good flame. I was thinking of getting this to 17 stars as well. Or like I don't know, should I make this like a damage accessory?
Well, I think it just depends on what lines you end up getting on it, right? If it ends up rolling, for now, if it ends up rolling 2 lines of damage, then that means it's a damage accessory. And if you re-roll it to try to go for 3, and then it ends up rolling drop or drop and mezzo or something, then it becomes a drop accessory, and then you have to make another one. Basically, you just kind of let the potential decide.
Okay.
As long as it's 17, right? If it's 21 or it's 22, then you kind of let the Starforce decide. Because then it's a bit of a oof. Yeah. Even if it's a double line, then it's a bit of a yikes to have to switch out of that. You know.
So yeah, like for eye accessory, I'm gonna switch out the Zachem one for the black bean mark. So I'm planning to get the black bean mark to 17 star, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's already 2 lines of strength.
And then buy the tattoo.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of buying 2.
Yeah. And tattoo to 17, so then you'll have 17 tattoo, 17 mark, 17 full CRA. Abzo, earring setup. Are you working on the Monster Barker badge?
Yep.
Okay.
Like 5 weeks.
Yeah, and then it's not super necessary, but I guess you're getting the heart of 15 tomorrow.
Yeah, probably just to have something pretty.
Yeah, just to have it done, so you don't have to click it and see like 12 or something or 11. Just a little weird. Okay. Yeah, and then ring wise, you were thinking of maybe getting the reinforced. Problem is, yeah, I think reinforced is something you always get, but after you have the superior set completed, because otherwise it just slows down how quickly you can move into superior set.
Yeah, like I don't want to delay getting.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. Yeah, were you considering maybe getting like event rings, or maybe even getting the Neo event rings to supplement? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Would it still be worth getting it? I guess maybe like getting. So like I have 2 rings that have like, well, one of the rings has 2 lines of muscle. So it's still gonna be worth getting like other rings to get dropped, right?
Yeah, a little bit later down the line, but yeah.
Because the event rings aren't really used for like damage.
No, yeah, temporarily they are, but like if you end up rolling a lot of strength on it, they might end up being the damage ring for a bit, but eventually you always run out of it. Yeah, once you have the kind of treasure, the reinforced, the superior, Meister, once you have those 2 enough Starforce, then you just roll out of it. Yeah. But yeah, that's even at 17, like one of those big rings, like the Wake Ring, right? If that one hits like 2 or 2.5 lines of strength, that's basically the same as if you have like a 17 star reinforced or kind of treasure or something like that. The main thing is, of course, if you have the superior ring, and then if that enables the set bonus, that's the really big one.
Yeah.
That's the important one to look out for. Yeah.
So should I probably just? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it.
So, should I? I know like in Neo, there's like a high chance of getting like the big rings, like the Awake Ring. So I should probably just wait for like Neo, right? For those rings.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, because the other thing. Well, what are the options, right? The options are like making Meister and starting to Starforce that past 17 for like transfer hammering, or if you have a bunch of Kana treasure backups, or if you're drowning in Gollux coins. Like those are the other three things. Do you have any of those three?
I have 5 primos for like Meister, but I haven't been cracked.
5 is not too bad. And we don't seem to have any kind of no boom room in the foreseeable future, so it's not like you can go really crazy on that. And do you have enough materials to make them into 5 rings? Do you have enough Grand Spell essences and Twisted Times?
I think so. It's like 150.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, I think so. It's like 150 of each, right? Like the Grand Spell.
Let me double check. You should be able to see because you don't need a recipe. So as long as you, let's see, accessory crafting. Yeah, they just unlock when you get there. I think it might be like 200, and then the. Oh yeah, it's 150 essences and 800 Twisted Times.
Oh, then yeah, I have enough.
Okay.
For like at least 4.
At least 4, okay. Yeah, we have another month, so that should make it at least a 5. That could make it so that we add that to the list of things we go high for. The thing, of course, with the Meister rings is, do you just focus on one high Starforce Meister ring to make that your damage ring, or do you first focus on getting a high Starforce Meister ring to transfer hammer into your superior so that one could be done? And you know, are you aiming for 2 17-star rings, or are you aiming for a 21 and a non-existent one, basically? Those are kind of like your main options, right? Like, do you go really hard? Because if you're going really hard for high, then there's way more chance that you blow a few up. Or do you first make a 17 and then try to make a second one to go higher, right? And that kind of depends on how quickly do you progress, and do you really need the damage quickly, or can you go for like bigger upgrade projects, which in efficiency that makes you make bigger steps in progression, and therefore they're also financially more efficient. But not everyone can afford to do those. So you already said before that you're in a situation where you can actually kill around your level pretty fine, and you don't need any damage right now. So depending on how many hours you're gonna have left, and how playing in the summer is gonna look like for you, how that's gonna look for you. It could be an idea, since we have this event in a month, to try to go maybe a little bit harder on 1 or 2 of the projects versus trying to go safer in and when I say projects, I mean like 1 or 2 equips, right? Or that you're either going to transfer hammer or be on the items themselves, versus trying to go a little bit safer for the flat amounts of stat. That is an option, but you already said before that you're kind of. Is it like the risk is too much, or?
What do you mean?
Well, you said before that you would prefer to go for, instead of sending in one item just all the way and finishing it, rather just going safer, going like 1 star at a time for everything to be more financially, be more efficient with your mesos, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I've never gone past 17, so I think like the risk of like, I don't know, getting like really unlucky. I think that's like what scares me the most.
Okay. That's understandable, of course. So what will happen if you go 17 first and then you try to push? What you can do, of course, is you can risk it on items going past 17 that you're not actively using, and then it won't be as bad if they blow up or anything, right? Because you try to upgrade. The worst part is if you are trying to upgrade your CRA and then you go push a little bit too far, like you're down to your last build and then it blows up and you don't get it back to where it was. That'll always feel worse. So yeah, in that sense, that's also kind of like the decision making process in the moment on when do you decide to stop, when do you decide to keep going. But when it comes to the rings, if you do go for the bigger rings for Neo and stuff, or you go for 17-star rings, like even if you get to 17, they won't really push past the event rings, not by enough to really warrant switching over. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. So if you have the rings on the side and you're trying to push them to 18 to 19 to 20, and then they blow up, it's like whatever, right? Because you're not losing any kill potential actively, but you're just you're getting setback, of course, in moving on to the new item, but it won't feel as bad because you're not actively getting hurt from the day to day.
Yeah.
So you could focus on that method. The one thing though, since you don't have the Gollux items yet, the thing I would almost advise doing is to maybe not go too hard. Well, once you have everything 17, right, and you can probably very easily just pop your like CRA to 18, because like the chance of booming from 17 to 18 is very, very low, and you have enough backups there, so that's very low risk. So it definitely just push the CRA at least to 18. The one thing that's kind of on my mind as a thing that I think would be beneficial for you to do is to, if you have reinforced earrings backup, and if you have more pink bean belts, is to push those like to 21 or something. Because like let's say that your belt goes to 21, you could just sit on a 21 belt and just equip that and be really strong with it, and then as soon as you get superior, transfer over and boom. Like it's still not really a downgrade because the base stats of the superior are just so much better, and you open yourself up to the superior set. So you go from one set to a stronger set to the superior set, and you the only thing you have to do is like requeue it, which is a small price to pay for such a huge upgrade. Kind of the same thing for the earrings, right? You could even get a little bit of damage on there if they're high amount, but yeah, of course backups and can be financially draining, but during a 5, 10, 15 it should not be like too insanely expensive on level 150 level 140 items. So that is something that you could try like one of them, or you could try both of them. The other project that you could try is the shield, of course, and the other projects that are also, we're looking at everything that you have the most backups for now would be the CRA equips. So you could decide to just do 1 star at a time for all of those, right? You could do that. And if you're lucky and you can actually get everything to 20, then the shield will be done, and the other ones would be like really close to being done. Or again, that depends on you, what your ultimate goal is. Like, do you think 19 is just like really already like crazy for everything? But you do want to look at it from a balance of like getting 19 on everything isn't equally balanced, even though it's the same number, right? Because getting 19 on an item that has like no replacements is way more risky than doing it on CRA, which has ample replacements.
Yeah.
Or getting 19 on something that you're going to transfer hammer and then it ends up as 17 versus keeping 19 on something. To 18. Sorry, you only lose 1 star on transfer hammer versus 19 on something that you keep on the item itself. That's also a big difference, of course.
Also, like the next step for me would be like most people go like hard loosen, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's what like I want my equip be ready for.
Yeah.
My equips to be ready for.
Yeah, so the main advice I've been given to people is like Abzo at 18 is quite a bit better than 17, but of course there is a chance to boom, so that's totally up to you depending on how risk averse you are. It is a very low chance to boom though, but it does exist. So usually I tell people like only go for only risk booming if you're okay with the potential outcome of it blowing up, of course. Like that is something that you have to be aware of. But if you go from 17 to 18 on Abzo, of course you would star catch the hell out of that. And then this goes back to 22 because you click star catch. And you would safeguard during 5, 10, 15. Well, we might as well just do 15 now, right? Because we're at 15. Boom, there you go. Then you're looking at 1.7 to 2.3 bill per item, which is still not too crazy. With average booms of 0.08. Where the unluckiest person boomed 3 items. Of course, if you're doing 5 items, then this multiplies quite a bit, right? So then your average chance to boom is almost 50%. So like 50-50 chance that at least one of your items boom. If you got everything up to 18. Of course, if you do 17, it's way safer, way cheaper, way less. 15 to 15 is free. Yeah. That's way less, of course. If you prefer that, then you would have to just go higher and basically do what we talked about, with where you kind of like roulette one one star at a time to stuff like the shield, probably the belt, right, and then the CRA pieces, probably those 5 pieces. Those can have the most. Maybe the earring if you have the reinforced earring and you have enough backups for that. Tattoo at 17. Probably. I mean, the current pendant at 17, right? But you don't have a lot of dineros back up, right?
No. 366.
Yeah.
I still have to buy the tattoo.
Yeah, and for now that could be fine, because I think if you have enough backups for CRA and for the belts and for the shield and all that, you can just spend all your money there anyway. So you're not like any rough spot or anything. But it probably is a good idea to keep doing the CPQ and the solo voyages to keep building up a bank of dinero, so that for the next 5, 10, 15 you could go higher and include the all of the dinero accessories in your rotation of Starforcing up. Because of course if you can get like 17 to 19 on those, that'd be way less risky than taking your CRA or something from 19 to 21, right? So kind of let the ease of access to backups kind of dictate what the priority is of how far you push your items.
Okay.
Yeah, and when it comes to Galax, of course, that's where the decision is on, kind of in your court. If you want to go hard on items to prep for when Galax does come, and then transfer hammer in, like I said, with the belt, like with the earring, and then it would be Dominator pendant for the Galax pendant, and then would be the Meister ring, or maybe kind of treasure ring, depending on how many backups you get, for the Superior ring. If you want to go harder on that, to make sure that you have those prepped, that by the time you do get the drop, by the time you can afford the items, that you can immediately transfer in and be done. Ideally, once you have all the pieces, of course. The belt might trade a little bit early because of the crazy base stats, but the other items typically only trade in once you have all the other pieces in the same spot, because their base stats are pretty dookie.
Yeah.
Nothing to nothing to boast about.
But you said like upgrade the shield to 20 stars is like a possibility, but is like how worth is that? Because the shield is only 130, right? So that means like it gets less attack per star, like past 15.
It gets a little bit less, yeah. God, man, off the top of my head, what does the shield end up at? Is it? I think it's like 75 stat, and I forget. Do we have any heroes in the chat with like a 20-star shield? I mean, yeah, that's usually something I don't really worry about though, like what the specific amount of stats per star is, but more in general, like how far it goes based on how risky it is. That's usually more the metric that I would use.
Okay.
Like, oh, you still have a bunch of backups and you have a bunch of money, you can send it. You have a bunch of money but you have no backups, be really, really careful. You have a bunch of backups but no money, well, then next time. Next time make more money. Yeah, but you'll probably get to the point where a few items you're like, okay, pushing even further now is super risky, or it gets super annoying. Like, you push all your CRA to 17s, like, kids play. You push it all to 18, maybe that goes fine too. Maybe you push 1 or 2 to 19, and then the other one, like, drops down a lot and takes a lot of your money. You're like, I don't know. And then you finally get it to 19, you're like, okay, maybe I'll work on something else instead. Yeah, depending on your experience and what you feel comfortable with doing. Because I'm sensing that you're pretty risk aversive, which I am too. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you like, oh, you have to send everything 22, right? That's kind of crazy. But yeah, you have to just feel it out in a moment what you're comfortable with. But don't be too afraid to, like, for Starforcing, to spend a lot during a 5, 10, 15, even like up to almost having no money left. Because as long as you can afford potions and buff freezers, then you can just make all that money back. And there's no real downside. Like, the only downside is not spending your money during an event where you can get big returns, right? So if you do see that you're like at the last 1 bill or something, and everything else is kind of like at 19, and you would be pushing for 20, like, you know, the worst that could happen, you know, is that you actually spend the whole bill and never get back to 15. But in most cases, what will happen is you'll still get back to 17, which is where you were in the beginning. So, you know, is the risk of dropping 2 stars that won't really hurt your kill potential, is that worse than the increased chance that you have right now of maybe gaining a star and getting to 20, which is a safe spot? That's kind of something that, you know, you have to decide for yourself, which if you think that risk is higher than the potential gain in that moment.
So like right now I'm thinking about sending like my CRA to like 18, and maybe the Absol. So like for Absol, you would say like having backups, having like the Lotus cores and the weekly cores.
Yeah, do you have any backups for that? Like in the
so like
form of, not in the coins yet, but like the other, yeah.
Yeah, so like the actual like items. I have like 60 of the weeklies, and like the cores I have like 8 and 9 for Lotus Damien. So would you say like that's, I mean, I'm also the 5, 10, 15 is like in a month, so I'll probably end up getting a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, what would you say is like a good backup amount for sending my Absol to like at least 18?
I mean, as long as you can buy like 2 backups, you should never need like both. That's already like really unlucky.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I got lucky with my setup, but like I pushed mine 20 to 21 without booms also. That's on the luckier side, of course, but like the average boom there is already quite a bit higher. But yeah, it's hard to compare to, of course. 1,320 stars. That's a bit much. Let's see. 25 and 15. Yeah, that's an average boom of 0.4 per item. Damn. So it's like 5 times the chance. That's how much you have in total of booming anything from all of them combined. So, yeah, the worst part would be if something happens to the weapon, right? That's a very expensive one to replace. Something.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why some people do is if they don't have this weapon, don't have the arcane weapon yet, is they try to go for like high Fafnir and then transfer hammer it over. But yeah, if you already have legendary with okay lines, then that's a bit more pricey of an option for you. And it's more of the old meta. If you're trying to go for 20 or 21 Abzo, then it makes way more sense to just send a bunch of 150 gear that you don't care about to 21, and then if you get it, you just transfer hammer it into the Abzo, and if you don't get it, it's whatever. That's like the other approach. But with Arcane, so much more achievable through the event shops and everything. I think it makes way more sense to just focus on buying out the droplets from the Arcane store, or the Arcane droplets from the store, and not to go too hard on Abzo. I think 18 is a good spot where it still gives a lot of stats, but it's very low chance of boom. But again, if you want to sell with 17 because you think your character is strong enough, you could do that for now. Just get it to 17 and then focus on all the other stuff. And if you let's say that you get Abzo to 17, all the other stuff without many backups like to 17, and you can actually get your CRA to 19 or even 1 or 2 pieces to 20. Because don't like overestimate how, if you get like okay lucky, it's very easy with the amount of money. Like if you have 40 bill, it'll be pretty possible that you just get 2 CRA pieces to 20.
Okay.
And if you feel like that's like enough of a boost already and that you're getting close, so one of the things would be that you do like a BA, right? And you can kind of see like how high is your BA now and what is it going towards, and realistically, if whatever upgrades are in your path, blah blah blah. If you do get those soon, as long as you're over like 3 trill or over on your burst for your BA, then you're like, you'd be carrying your weight as a hero in the run basically for hard lucid. If you get 3.5 or 4, then you're like really safe. But maybe during the day, like double check and see like how close are you getting. Do you know what your BA is now?
I think it was like about 700 or something. 800 or 800 bill.
Yeah, not 800 trill. What is a damage cap? Just to crush it. Yeah. So that's still like a huge gap, of course, but
Wait,
yeah,
I wanted to
so-
ask.
Mhm.
Do you know what your BA for your hero is?
I think it's around. I think it's around 4.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little bit higher now. Maybe a little bit, yeah. So what I did first was I did the thing with the level 150s to 21 and then transferred all over and then went from like no Abzo to 20 Abzo basically.
Oh, okay.
It's a minor upgrade.
It's just a minor.
Yeah. And then in the 15 after that, I pushed my CRA from 17 to 21 on each. Yeah. So probably over 4 now. Yeah, probably like 4.5 or something. But yeah, so that's 21. Basically, I have 21 CRA and then 20 Abzo, and then everything else is 17. Yeah. Oh, and the shield is 20. Like I pushed that one to 20. Yeah, I do have a potential badge. But I could definitely do with less on the hero to still be in the party. Definitely do a bit more than required. So yeah, if you're a little bit lower on the Abzo, but then you might have to just be a little bit higher on the accessories instead to compensate for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's more long-term oriented, right? Because then you can not overinvest in the Abzo, and then make sure that once you make the arcane switch is just more of a viable thing for you. For me, of course, it isn't on my hero. Like I'm not gonna throw arcane on that. Although I did get the arcane shoulder drop, but yeah, it's just sitting there. Like I can't do. I'm not gonna break my 20-star Abzo set for like a 17 arcane shoulder. That doesn't really make any sense. I could try to send it to 21 or something to just like YOLO and see if it does anything, but yeah. I'm not on a level where I have that kind of YOLO money on my mules to see if I can send something. Yeah, but yeah, I think that gives you. So therefore, that's why I kind of say like, consider the 18 Abzo, because from 18 to 20, I mean it's still a big bump, but 17 to 20 is yeah, that's like a chasm, but 18 to 20 is like that's surmountable with extra Starforce on the accessories for sure. So definitely consider that.
Okay.
I think it has low enough boom chance to, both appease your risk aversiveness and also give you decent rewards for it in return. Yeah.
But and then for like the other accessories, like for the horntail earrings, I get that to 17.
Mm-hmm.
The Kana's treasure, should I get that to 17 or also because I only have one backup? But I haven't Pinot this week yet.
Yeah, we got it to 17.
So get that to 17 at least, and possibly 18.
Sorry, what was that? What to 18? Oh, the
possibly to 18.
The rain?
Yeah. Or should I not?
I would high risk first on the things with more backups, and then see where you want to go from there.
Okay.
So you could see like, oh, I'm getting the CRA to 19 or something, and then if that's all 19, then you can like circle back and see like, okay, which other things that are, because now you're looking at 17 to 18 on a ring versus 19 to 20 on CRA, and that's more comparable, I think, than saying like, oh, 17 to 18 on a Kana treasure ring. That's like the same as 17 to 18 on CRA, right? That's way more risky. Because of that long-term vision. Because let's say you get a bunch of Kana treasure rings in the meantime, and you get unlucky with your Meister rings. Maybe you need all 5 Meister rings to get one of the Meister rings to 20 or 21, and you don't even have that backup or that second one that you need to transfer hammer into the superior, because you definitely don't have the coins to go start like buying extra superiors, right? And then maybe you want to use your backup Kana treasures instead to transfer hammer into the superior, right? Okay, so you want to keep that option open. Whereas for CRA, you just full send because there's no transfer hammer necessary and there's almost endless backups. So for that, you can be you can just set a way higher standard. I'm not saying be more careless or something, but the level of carefulness that is required is well, I guess more careless then. That's basically what it comes down to. But you could be controlled combustion basically. You make a weighted risk. Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate like the power of a high Starforce belt for a while as a good placeholder. It's a lot of attack, and then when superior comes in, you can transfer hammer it over. And it's easy to get a lot of backups for as well. So that would be something that would be worth considering. And then maybe the reinforced earrings, right? I don't know how many of you have of those.
For which one?
The reinforced earrings.
Wait, Helix is supposed to drop them, right?
Yeah, that sounds like you don't have any.
He's
he's supposed to drop them. That's it.
Who gave it away?
That's the correct construction of the sentence. Yeah, he's supposed to drop them. Yes.
Yeah, I have exactly 0. I haven't gotten anyone
Okay.
at all.
Okay. Yeah. Well then, yeah, it's not worth crafting the. No, you can't really go. You don't really want to go like farm for the shaman. You have another month though. You know, that's 30 runs. I think that should give you at least like 3 or so of them. Hopefully, like one every 10 days. It should be doable. I mean, 3 is enough to, if you get lucky, just be able to get 1 to 21. It's also enough to get unlucky and not even get C16 or something. But you know, if you boom them before 15, it's whatever, right? Because that's not where the big money is anyway. Then at least you tried. The worst part is if you get to like 18 and then you boom to 19 2 times or something. That's like really rough. Especially after it ping pongs between 16 and 18, like 15 times back and forth. Those feel the worst. So yeah. It's just awkward getting out of the boss accessory set now because the Gollix time gate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the reality now. Sadly, that's how it is. That's how it goes.
Wait, I don't exactly remember how. Like I know Gollix got reworked, but it was easier to get like superior set before, right?
It seems like I don't know if the drop rate was higher before, but the difference is that the earrings didn't drop, but the pendants dropped instead. That was different, but yeah, I mean, we solved that by basically transposing the pendant instead of transposing the earring, so we just moved that problem up. But the amount of coins that you needed to buy the ring and the earring was way less.
Yeah.
So you could buy those faster. You would still be kind of like cucked and waiting for the drops, but you could buy the other 2 way faster.
Oh yeah.
But that's now, but that's now compensated by the fact that you could also buy the other ones, which wasn't possible before, and you can buy backups now.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the long term, it's way better now, but for the short term, you're just uber RNG hostage. Yeah. Did this in general make things more clear, or did it make it more confusing?
A bit of both.
Yeah, because I kind of I tend to like show what the options are, but that can make things a little bit too free flowing of like, oh, so everything can happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But is there like
Sorry, I didn't really expect this many options. I kind of just thought like, oh, everything's 17 star and I guess the CR rate to 18, but yeah, I didn't think about like getting the shield to 20 stars. So there's like a lot of options, but like in general, it has helped me a lot.
I think I could see you at 5, 10, 15 getting everything to 17 and your CR rate to 18 and still have 30 bill left. And then you're like, okay, well now what? Like, I should be spending it on something because, you know, there's an event right now, but what do I do now? And then you're like, ugh. So hopefully, if that happens, hopefully now you have a bunch of avenues that you can go down. If you get ridiculously unlucky and you're actually almost close to finishing all your money after doing that, I don't know what universe you could get so unlucky in, but if that happens, you know, then, you know, you don't have to worry about your options because you don't have any anymore at that point. But hopefully, like, you know, if you get to the point where you actually just are still sitting on 30 bill, or maybe even more, you know, if you get lucky with the other one, you could sit at like still 35 bill or something, depending on how much you're making. Hopefully you'll see more options now to also kind of efficiently put that money to work for you so that you can end up making that money talk. And because, you know, you put the work in for the money, right? So now it's time for the money to do the work that you put in so that you can get those rewards back, because, you know, that's what we do it for in the end.
sweet gains.
Yep. Or the sweet pains. One of the two. Gains or pains. We just hope that
you're gonna upload this to YouTube, right?
Yes, I will upload it later today so that you can check back, check all your options.
Yeah, most likely, definitely check back, especially during the day before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to refresh everything. Yeah, but as long as you keep going with all the bosses that you can do, you should have a nice chunk of CRA backup. Yeah, consider 18 Abzo if you feel like you have enough backups by that time and you're feeling okay and you haven't like blown up 6 pieces of CRA trying to get 17 to 18 yet, and you still have some some goodwill that day, or yeah. The other thing that could kind of mess things up, of course, is if you get something like a cube seal. But I think you're not really in a situation where there's like brain dead dump about a bunch of money. I think the main thing that you would do would be to probably just push your shoulder on your glove, right?
Yeah.
And probably, I guess, push the pants and the top then as well. I mean, if there's a cube seal, might as well go to legendary and roll 2-line stat on those.
And the cape.
And the cape. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, cape. Yeah. So almost forgot about the cape.
Everything's a legendary 2-line, but
pretty much.
If I get 3-line, it's good, but don't.
Yeah, maybe not the. I don't know. Maybe not the Mechanator, because I'm thinking like you've got the Dom. You'll probably sit on the Dom for a while, and then it'll get replaced by the Superior anyway. But then what would you use for drop rate? Because I guess you would use Mechanator second Dom, or Mechanator second Dom as drop or something, and then Sweetwater Superior as damage.
Yeah, probably. Because the Mechanator right now has 18%.
Yeah, 18, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I bet you were trying to get that to legendary as well, and then ended up with that. That's just how that's how we end up with those. That's how that happens.
So yeah, I'll probably end up getting the Dominator pendant to legendary and make that like drop gear.
Yep, and then this one becomes damage gear for now until superior, and then once you have the superior, then this one gets rerolled to drop our meso as well.
Yep.
So are you at what do you have now? Are you like 5 meso, 3 drop, something like that?
I think 3 meso.
1, 2, 3.
Drop?
3, 4 drop. Wait, I see 3. I see 3 meso, 4 drop. Yeah, does that sound right?
Yeah, that's. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so just 2 more lines of meso. Easy clap. That's just the 2 pendants, right? Yeah. 2 meso pendants, and then you're full set. That's pretty close.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we didn't talk about your inner ability at all. Do you have any ideas around that, or are you just gonna hold honor experience and then?
I don't even know. I was the only reason I have attack speed was because I was trying to get on the crit on the second line. Attack speed.
Yep.
And I've heard like stories about how people would spend billions trying to get like crit, and they wouldn't get it.
Yep. They're true. They're all true, sadly.
So like I don't really have a plan for that because, like if I do roll it and get like the 20% crit on the second line, I'd also have to re-roll for attack speed on the first line.
Exactly. Yeah. If you wanna maintain your rhythm and you're not feeling like your game is broken whenever you're that feeling when the green pot expires, you're like, what? Why is my character so bad? And like, oh, okay, the pot expired. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll give you kind of the same advice I gave to the last person with the progression session. Basically, whenever you see a 50% off event come by, and you feel like, your other stuff is kind of either, the upgrades become so expensive, or it's going to take a while, or we just had an upgrade event for that anyway, so it takes a while to get another Starforce event, to get another cubing event, something like that. Just set aside like a budget of an amount that you are okay with spending, and then just spend that on circulators to try to get the 20% crit. And if you don't get it within that, then you just hold on to your 1% attack speed, and then you come back at a later date. But I would do that like on a day where there is a 50% off reset, so that if you do hit it, you can immediately also lock in and re-roll and try to get that attack speed back, so you minimize the amount of time that you're lost without that attack speed, basically.
Okay.
I think
the main issue would be like how much is good enough to set aside, and how much is not too much.
Yeah, and for that, I can't tell you. Like, I know it's kind of a similar issue for 38% buff duration. There was someone in the chat a while ago who like got it on the T-Rip. They hit the 38% buff duration on the second line. And I know my mom, for example, on her Bishop, she spent 18 bill on circulators only during sales, and she never saw it. So it's somewhere in between there. Hopefully, but it could be even more. Yeah, it's just really hard to tell. I don't know what those numbers are. I don't know if we know the weights at this point still of everything. Yeah, we do have a 50% off on June 6th, so that's 2 weeks after the May 23rd. So let's say that you go like full broke or like near broke on May 23rd on the 5, 10, 15. And then, you know, by the time May 6th rolls around, there's not too much else to spend money on for you at that point, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of cubing. But you have 2 weeks of income. You're probably going to be sitting on 7, 8 bill then. So you could say like, I'm going to throw like, you know, I'm going to set aside like, I don't know, like 4 bill on circulators or something. Or 2 bill, you know, whatever you're comfortable with letting go. Remember also, of course, buying out the droplets from the shop, right? So don't forget that as an expense. And then Neo has the droplet store as well, and that's probably going to be 5 bill as well for 2 sets of 50 there. But yeah, of course, that's a long event, and if you're making 4 bill a week, then you know it should be no problem by the end of the event getting your 5 bill.
Yeah. There's like the 5 bill for droplets in Neo, and then like there's additional droplets, right? But that's like with bossing and stuff.
Yeah, with bossing you get like currencies per week, depending on how difficult of a boss you can kill, and then you get like a total amount, and then you can spend those in the shop for up to, and then you can buy up to 50 of each as well with those.
Okay.
Yeah, so it might be a good idea to see if you can push that hard lucid by then, or normal will, right? Both of those.
Yeah, I'll probably.
Yeah, because per type of boss, you can only get the value of them once per week. So it's going to be within your whole account how many different bosses you can kill within a week. So that's going to determine how many of those resources you get and how many of those items you can buy out in the shop.
But other than that, I don't really have any.
No more questions?
Nope.
I think you already came well prepared, but yeah, hopefully it didn't overwhelm you too much with all the possible options and with the Starforcing and everything. Yeah, I just hope you don't have a horrible experience your first time going past 17, because that does happen, and people get completely turned off, and they're just like, I'm going to just sit on 17 and get 3-line potential everything and just cube, and just everything else can go fuck itself. I hope you don't have anything like that. Yeah. So yeah, best of luck. Hope RNG's in a good mood. But yeah, that's a month from now. You'll probably see a lot of money increase by then. And I hope you'll be pleasantly surprised with how much you can actually get done with that money.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yep, we will see. Exactly. All right, yeah. I expect a full report on my desk by Monday. Monday the 24th, we're going to have a... Sometimes I like to keep a little grid on like a spreadsheet to be like, okay, started at this, I spent this much, and then kind of keep track of everything. And then you can see it really shifts. Like the last event I had, there was one, I think the first 3 items I did, I got like the lowest 10th percentile luck or something, spending about 3 to 4 times as much as you would expect. And then being like, okay, this is the worst event ever. I was raging so hard. I think I turned off my camera while I was streaming because I was just so pissed. And then I went to my marksman, and I basically just tapped 17 to 21 on all 3 of the CRA pieces in a total of less than 6 bill.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, well, I guess that... And then I turned my camera back on. I was like, okay, I'm back now, all right? Finally. So yeah, even how horrible it started, in the end, I did end up like above average lucky still by the end of the day, which I never saw that coming. So, you know, just if you get super lucky, it's possible that another item, and the more items you do, the more chance that at least one of them is going to be super lucky and one of them is going to be horribly, horribly unlucky. That's just, yeah, that's going to happen. Very few times will they all just be straight down the middle and just average. It doesn't really happen, you know. But yeah, if that's if something else has come up, maybe by rewatching the video or something that you wanted to say and that escapes you, you can always hit me up either on YouTube or on Discord or in the chat, of course, and not through the guild chat though. That's a bad place to try to get me. But how's the guild been, by the way? Being in the guild, are you doing CRAs and stuff like that, or?
I think I did like a couple of like dual struggle Lotus and Damien. When I came to the guild, I was already able to solo CRA, so I couldn't take advantage of that.
I see.
I think overall the guild is like pretty nice. They're helpful.
Yeah, decently nice people, I think.
Yeah.
And wait, the Lucid party, are there some people from the guild for that as well?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I did use your Discord bossing channel, and that's where I found one of the parties.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. It's tough to get those things going, because if people are in there and they post a few times and they get not enough responses, then they stop using it. And then if there's never enough people at one time to use it, then nobody ever gets a match, right? But it takes just enough people to be active in there and be actively looking to finally start finding matches, and then being like, oh damn, one person can come and is like, oh, we need one fill, and then someone who's in there is like, oh, boom, they can immediately jump in, right? And then it's like, oh shit, if I'm here all the time, I can find a fill. And then it's like, oh wait, there's 4 of us right now looking for a party. If we just join up and find one more person, we could just 5-man and start running. And then, then you can kind of get the ball rolling, and you can kind of get the opposite going of like content in Maple dying when people don't show up for stuff. Yeah, so that is. I'm not really in there actively participating in stuff, but yeah, my hope is, of course, that if people are looking for any kind of boss run, call to action to people in the chat. If you're looking for struggle runs or you're looking for party runs for bosses, make sure you join the Discord and give yourself the appropriate bossing roles so you can see other people who are looking for the same boss fights as you are and group up with them so that you can save yourself some time and start practicing those bosses, because those first few runs are always a little bit of a doozy, right? You have to figure out the mechanics and communications, and one person figures one thing out very quickly, and then another thing they struggle with that, and everyone learns at their own pace.
Yeah. The first practice struggle normal lucid run we did, 4 of us died out.
Yeah, just all floating in phase 1. Every golem just kills you. You feel like there's nothing you could do. Every dragon, everyone's dead. Yeah.
Then we kept practicing. Then eventually, all of us we did like a real run, and everybody survived.
Did you do like a bunch of practice runs on the same day, like to just be like, okay, let's see what we could do, and they're like, okay, we need practice. Yeah. I did that recently with Varusilla. Like the first time we went in, it was like, oof. It's very hit and miss with Varusilla, because you can be having a great run, and then in like 5 seconds it can completely fall apart. You're like, oh, you get hit by one skill, hit by another thing, stunned into another thing, and then suddenly you just die out instantly. And then if you get hit by enough stuff and then die, you're just completely out immediately.
Yeah, no, I saw like it's like no lives, like skulls.
Yeah, it's a very different system that can be very unforgiving. But as you go through the process that you've gone through with Lucid, and then you have that learning process, you have that experience, and you do that with even harder bosses like Will, and then Hard Will after that, then you have a very, very solid foundation to start doing those harder bosses for sure. So that's good to see. Well, I'm glad the Discord helped you, and that the guild is helping you where it can as well. And I wish you the best of luck with all the Starforcing.
Yep.
And I'll see you around.
Thanks for the stream.
All right.
See you around.
No problem. See you, Zeke.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, so some similar points to the progression from yesterday. Some differences, of course, as well. But I hope that all the options are are clear in case there is a lot of money to spend on the 23rd. So 23rd of May, big important day, that rhymed. Yeah, the event calendar has all the Sunny Sundays in there and highlighted. So Sunny Sundays has a link to this. Yeah, so if you're wondering, you know, how much money do I need to save? What am I going to be spending money on? Make sure you use this calculator. Suckard's Maple Story Tools. I can't believe he didn't just rebrand. Brandon May, okay? His name is Brandon May, made by Suckard. Okay, listen. But yeah. So, oh yeah, and another reminder, of course, for everyone to make sure you have a plan and pick up all of your compensation. You have 4 more days to do that at the time of this video, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. And if you thought this was a very helpful progression, then I'm glad. If you want one of these as well, make sure you check the description of the video to find out how you can do that. And as always, I'm still gathering information and data from you guys. If you have a battle analysis, monsters killed per hour using the Veteran Hunter title challenge that you can use, and videos of you training in anywhere in Tenebris, please send it to me in the form that is also in the link of the video, so I can use that data to help populate my grids, so I can give better, more accurate information to new players and existing players in the game. I appreciate you for taking some time to do that. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, YouTube.